everybody. Kristen Norris here from Shape Your World Coaching, wishing you a very happy Sunday. It is Sunday. I am recording this for your weekly Sunday sermon. Thank you so much, by the way, for all of you who are subscribers, who watch and listen to these. I do keep track, and I respond to comments and questions whenever you have them. I will love to connect with all of you further. So if any of you ever have a question or there's anything you'd like to know, please do feel free to leave it in the comment section below the videos, because I do keep track and I respond personally. And yeah, it would be great to connect with you and help you if I can in any way. I'm here in sunny England. This is my last day for my current location of house and pet sitting around the world. It's a beautiful sunny day. I'm standing in the shade a little bit because otherwise I'll get a glare, but I'll show you just a bit. This is just one part of where I am, and you can see there's a field behind there where we play fetch with the dogs. And there's some ducks around the corner. Here we go. Here are the doggies. So yeah, so that's where I am again, and I'll turn back around so you can see me. And so yeah, so this is an interesting week, and I actually almost recorded the Sunday. Those are the ducks, by the way. I almost recorded the Sunday sermon a few days ago. I got this inspiration, and then it just didn't happen. And so since then, I've really kind of gone back and forth a little bit on whether to, what to share with you, whether to record it or whether to wait, blah, 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 blah. And part of why, I'm just going to sit down while I do this, part of why I've been waiting is that there's been a lot of stuff going on for me. And as ever, we are reflections for one another. So what I go through in the world can be a reflection for what you all may be experiencing, and vice versa. It's just a part of how our world works. And since, we are a part of this collective consciousness, sorry, the sun is in my eyes, so I'm going to move. But since we're a part of this collective consciousness, I've spoken about it previously, but, I'll just briefly mention again, the way it works is that because all of our souls originate from the same space and place in the universe, we are connected. It's like we are a part of this beautiful, amazing, big soul family, extended family, and you have shed loads of cousins who you've never met. You can think about it that way. And because we are all part of this great, amazing soul consciousness called collective consciousness, that's one way to put it, what happens for one of us will be eventually felt in other areas of the world. That's part of why I explained it actually on my personal Facebook this way, many, many months ago, where I was sharing about, oh gosh, there was something going on in the world. There's a lot going on in our world, huh? But anyway, there was something going on, and I mentioned that part of what was going on, a lot of people were feeling really upset. I think it was something US related as well. But anyway, and I said that, part of how it works is that because we are part of this collective consciousness whole, what happens in one area of the world will affect everyone else. It's more than just, global finances or economics or the way that a lot of our governments depend on one another. May not always want to, but, that sort of thing. There are a lot of partnerships and global partnerships. It's more than just the fact that the internet connects all of us. It's that we are connected energetically and our very cells, our very beings. And we are all made of stardust. And what it means is that we feel things on a really deep level. Whether you consider yourself a spiritual person or not, you will be feeling things, and stuff that's going on in another part of the world will affect you. Part of why it will affect you ties into how our human consciousness works and, our minds and our brains. But you can also go deeper with that because the ways our brains and our consciousness work things affecting us on that really deep level. Part of why that is, and it's able to happen, is that we are all connected, and that's on an energetic level when you get down to it. So, anyway, yeah, it's something to think about, and if you're having a tough day, if there's stuff going on in the world and you're thinking, why is this upsetting me? A good example is I was watching a movie earlier this morning with my breakfast and so on, with the dogs next to me, and I just burst out crying. I was really upset crying, and it's a movie called The Good Lie with Reese Witherspoon, which I never seen before. And basically, it's a fictional story, but it's based on what has actually happened to people, and taken from some of their own accounts. And the millions of young children, a lot of them, who have been displaced due to the wars in South Sudan with North Sudan. So anyway, there were these scenes in the very beginning, and I just burst out crying. I was really upset. And I tuned in to, why am I crying so much? This is kind of like, because it was a lot coming out. And, even something emotionally moving, I might get a bit teary, but not like that. And so I tuned in, and part of what I realized is that I was picking up on the collective consciousness and this sorrow, this absolute sorrow of what is still ongoing in the world, and so many people who are still being affected by wars and conflicts, and children and families displaced, and you could say displaced, they've lost their homes. Family members have died. So, I was picking up on all of that. And by picking up on it, I mean that through that collective consciousness, my energy was feeling their pain. I hadn't gone through my grounding and so on yet in the day, which I do every day. And as part of my grounding, part of what I do is I also disconnect my energy from the 3D consciousness, collective consciousness grid, so that I can do my work, so that I don't get overwhelmed by things, because I'm an empath as well as an intuitive. And being empathic, a lot of you watching this, you may also be empathic. It's really common. And what it means is that we feel and we pick up on what other people are going through. So that collective consciousness I spoke about. Whereas for some people, if you're not empathic, you might be picking up on it, and it may make you feel sad, but you're not going to burst out crying. But for others who feel and pick up on things much more easily, and so on, and they may be empathic as well. Anyway, they could burst out crying. So that's what I was doing this morning. That's what was going on, and I was just feeling the pain and sorrow, and it was interesting for me because it also ties into my most recent past life in this linear timeline of our world history. I'm right in the way of the ducks. I'll show you. I'll take a pause really quick. They're like, what are you doing? So anyway, so for me, it ties into past life I had. My most recent one, where I was actually in Nazi Germany, and, a member of the Nazi Party. I wasn't a man, I wasn't going to war, but, and it's not that I agreed with everything. I spoke out against a lot of stuff, and it got my family and me in a lot of danger. Partly due to what I said, but also my actions and my husband's actions and his brother, who actively tried to help people, family members and family friends, once we realized stuff was going down and that it wasn't good. So I realized this empathic reaction was connecting me to what needed to be healed at a deeper level. And that's another thing that can happen. And it really ties into the space and the place our world and our universe is in right now. There's a lot of stuff coming up for a lot of people. A lot of really deep, ancient, buried fears, worries, sadness, guilt, maybe shame, anger. And These ducks are so loud. I hope you can hear this okay. And they're just chatting away. Just hope you can hear me. But anyway, and the reason why all of this stuff is coming up is, one, is getting triggered. Things that are going on in current world events are reminding our deep energetic selves of what we've gone through before, of what our souls have already experienced in the world, in this universe. They're reminding us of things we may have done, our souls, or participated in, or what happened to us, or people we cared about and loved. And so that's one thing that's going on. Current events and certain people in the world are literally, their souls have agreed to trigger because it's time. These fears, worries, sadness, sorrows, anger, pain, all of it, it's been buried in our souls for way too long, and as a result, it's been being held and buried by and within the collective consciousness as well, because we all are a part of it. So we've been affecting one another for thousands of years without necessarily realizing it. Millions of years, if you go far back enough. And it's time. Mother Earth is moving on. You know, I spoke about it in previous Sunday sermons that we are in a number 1 year in numerology, and last year was a 9-year, which is all about completion. This year, number 1 is all about clean slates, new beginnings, fresh starts. Well, part of why all of that is happening is that Mother Earth is moving on. She's done what she needs to do. Earth as a planet, she holds her own energy as well. She radiates and gives off her own energy the same way each of us does, or plants or the sun, etc. So her energy is moving on. She's shifting, and we're blessed to be along for the ride. So in order for us to be ready for where she's going, our world is triggering loads of stuff for a lot of us. World events is triggering a lot of stuff for many people. Certain world leaders are triggering things for a lot of people. A lot of people. And part of why all that stuff is happening is that is what those souls agreed to do, to help all of us, to help our planet, to help our world, to help all of us shake it off, baby. Like, I think it was Taylor Swift said, shake it off, shake it off, shake it out also. And you can think about it, but like literally, I'm shaking my arm there, but literally shaking it out, because the more we hold this stuff in and we're not maybe doing yoga or dancing it out or screaming, shouting, yelling into like pillows, that's really therapeutic, or writing, creating to get some of this stuff out, or talking to people, sharing what's going on, and or declaring to ourselves, or doing energy work to get this stuff out. The more we're not doing that, the more the world around us is saying, look, it's time, lady. It's time, mister. Sweethearts, we love you. It's time. It's time. And, our souls decided to come to this Earth planet at this point in time as well for a reason. We signed up to be a part of this incredible, amazing shift that's happening in our world and on our planet, and with our current events and all of this. We signed up to it. And we signed up to be a part of it, to learn, to grow, to help everyone. My soul signed up for the life I've experienced, the life I will experience, things that I don't consciously even realize yet, but my subconscious self, my energetic self knows is coming up. I signed up for all of it because it's time. It's time. It's time for me. It's time for you. It's time for our world. And we need one another to help us through this. You know, we all have specific gifts, we all have specific talents, we all have had specific and incredible, sometimes painful, but ultimately, once we can move through them, healing experiences in our current lifetimes. And the reasons for all of this are exactly what I've said, that, you know, Mother Earth is moving on. She knows it's a universal shift. We've had thousands of years of patriarchy, of war, of not all men, but many men treating women incredibly unfairly. You know, war rape, sexual assault, gender bias, discrimination in the workplace, at home. You know, that's just one example. There's a lot of other examples where groups of people, you know, you could do it on gender or ethnicity or race or religious background, whatever. There's been a lot of space and energy given to pushing other people down. And our soul signed up for that. We all participated in it on one side or the other. There was something there for us to learn somehow. But it is time. It is time for us all to move on from these things. And so that's what we're seeing right now in our world. That's what we're all experiencing. And, you know, a lot of us are getting really fed up. A lot of us are saying, we're sick of this crap. You know, whatever crap is going on. And we need something different to be happening. And that's why. That's why. Because it is time for all of us to experience something different. We've done that. We've done this old way of living and feeling and believing and going about the world and feeling about ourselves in the world a certain way. We've experienced all those things. And so it's time for us to move and to shift into something new. And for us to be able to do that, we need to bring up the stuff, whether it's this current lifetime or any other lifetime related, so that we can move on. Because if we don't bring that stuff up, if we don't look at it, if we're not feeling brave enough or we don't have support in looking at these things, we're going to stay stuck at the same place. And because we are a part of this collective consciousness, we will be feeling the pull to heal. We'll be feeling the pull, the beautiful, divine, gorgeous pull to have this stuff come up. We will be reminded of what is still not resolved, these unresolved things or experiences, and we will keep having them come up until we do something about it, until we do heal, until we do allow ourselves the release. And sometimes that takes self-forgiveness. Sometimes that takes us being willing to know it's okay to receive help and support. It's okay if we're not Superman or Superwoman, Wonder Woman. It's okay. And sometimes it means just to, not just, but to declare to ourselves, we've had enough. Damn it all. We're sick of this crap, and it's time to move on. Sometimes it's as simple as that. Either way, we're moving, people. You're moving, I'm moving, we're all moving. And so a really key thing that you can start to do to help yourself move into this direction that we are all going, it's happening, people. We're along for the ride. And our soul signed up for this. So even if you don't feel consciously ready, your soul's ready. You can do it. And there is support and tools all around us to help us through this process. But another thing you can do to help yourself, if you're not feeling ready, if you're starting to, or if you don't even know what direction to go in, you may have felt or experienced some repeating patterns, some areas of your life that you're thinking, this stuff just isn't going well anymore, and I'm done with it, but you don't know how. Ask yourself, what is one thing? What is just the first thing that comes to your mind? You can close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, maybe put your hand on your heart, and just ask yourself, and be ready for however it comes to you, whatever comes to you. Ask yourself, what is the first step that I need to take right now? Another question you can ask yourself is, what is the first and best thing that I need to receive right now? Because that will also tell you whether you need to allow yourself to receive help, to receive the energy of love, to receive healing. And that will help you, all of these things will help you to then better know how can you move forward and to take those action steps so that you can go in the direction that you and your soul are ready for you to move forward in. I hope that all of this has been a help for each and every one of you, and I'm sending you so much love, everybody. I really, really am. You know, we are in this beautiful, amazing space in our universe, in our planet, and Mother Earth needs us. She needs us to come with her, and we need each other to help through this time that we're all in. We're ready for it. You're ready for it. Even if you don't consciously feel like you are. You are. You are. I've got duckies behind me. They're ready. They're going in the water. See if you can see them. They're ready. So let's go. Let's go. I encourage you, and I'm sending you so much love, always. Thank you for being you, sweethearts. Thank you for the gift that you have to share and shine in our world. Share your love. We need it, and we need you. All the best, everybody. Bye. Bye.